Hello and welcome back to the Biblical Femininity lesson. Lesson 2. This one is dominion over the world. If you hadn't yet seen the other lesson, dominion over the body, you should probably watch that one first. But now we go out from the self and then into the world. What does woman do? How does she take dominion? Well, we find that out today. Opening discussion. What do you think it means for a woman to shape the world? What does the world tell women to build? How is a woman's dominion different than a man's? Adorn, Proverbs 31, and Abigail. Have you seen a woman who brings peace into every room she enters? Or one who dresses herself and her home in gentleness and in strength? The woman of adornment beautifies what God has given. She prepares, she blesses, and she speaks with dignity. Proverbs 14:1. The wisest of women builds her house, but folly with her own hands tears it down. What happened to these two women? What does the Proverbs 31 woman do? Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She rises early, she speaks kindly, and runs her home with strength. Her clothing is dignity, her tongue is wise. She rises early, speaks kindly, and runs her home with strength. Her clothing is dignity, her tongue is wise. What about Abigail? Abigail prepares a gift, bows low, and speaks peace. Abigail understands the nature of David as the one anointed to be king by Samuel, and his ability to slaughter everyone in her household. She prepares a feast to tend to him and all of his men, with much food and wine prepared for them, then continues to adorn her very words with respect before the anointed of God. What trait do these women display? Adornment. She clothes her world with holiness. She isn't an attraction. She makes the world around her attractive. Her wisdom is on display, and all take note. The woman who does not adorn her world is slovenly. She dresses to sate her own sinful desire, and her house is hideous as her heart. When she becomes aware of it, she falls into despair, then again forgets. Nurture, Proverbs 31, and the Shunammite woman. Have you seen a woman care for her family well? The nurturing woman doesn't just coddle, she builds, she strengthens, she raises up the fallen. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. What happened to her? What happened to the Shunammite woman in 2 Kings chapter 4? What did this precious woman do? She cared for Elisha because she knew he was of God. Then, when trouble arose, she trusted God and went to seek out Elisha. She was blessed for it later, too, and her son was brought back to life. What trait did she display? Nurture. She feeds her family through food, the Word of God, knowledge, and wisdom. She tends to their needs and cares for them well. Her touch is gentle, and those in her care call her blessed. The woman who does not nurture causes her children to starve, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. She brings death instead of life, and everyone she touches is repelled by her. Preserve, Deborah. To preserve is to keep and reinforce that which is good, to maintain it so that it will not be lost. Women who preserve teach holiness and right thinking and keep out evil. They also remember what is good. The woman that preserves is one who hears holiness, knows it is good, and reinforces it. Judges 5:7. The villagers ceased in Israel. They ceased to be until I arose. I, Deborah, arose as a mother in Israel. Judges 4:4-9. What does Deborah mean when she says, "Nevertheless, the road on which you are going will not lead to your glory, for the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman"? What did Barak say? "Go with me or I won't go." That is an acceptable thing to say to God. Throughout the Bible, that is echoed. And yet, he said it not to God, but to a woman. He's saying, "I'm too scared. I need you to go with me." Deborah is telling him that because you cannot act like a man, God will humiliate you. Not only having me to judge for you, but now even your victory will be taken from you. This is a wake-up call from God. Deborah is being used by God to preserve right teaching that men need to lead, not women. That is why Deborah is the one woman that is put in this position, and God uses it to cause men to see that they are not fulfilling their duty rightly. She earnestly tries to preserve the man's honor, but God did not plan for it to work out that way. God planned for Deborah to go with him and show the truth, that their cowardice puts them to shame, with a story of God's grace, despite their foolishness. What trait did she display? She upheld truth and shared what God decreed while trying to educate and keep people from dishonor. A woman who does not preserve does not know what she heard seconds prior. She teaches nothing. She's consumed with fear. Her children rule her life, and they order her around like a dog. Review questions. Which woman stood out to you the most? Abigail, the Shunammite, or Deborah? Why? Women. Which trait challenges you the most? Adorn, nurture, or preserve? Men. Do you have a picture of what traits you desire to nurture in your wife? Or do you know the kind of wife you should pursue? Women. What would it look like for you to take dominion over your world this week? Final words. Do you remember the three? Adorn, nurture, preserve. These are the ways in which women can touch the world and bring life and vibrance to the cold and dull. She doesn't allow that which she loves to perish. She prepares for the future. Next time we look at her direction, her head, her covering, her king. Next week is Dominion Rightly Ordered.